Hello, Amber Ludwig here, your online business growth mentor, and I just want to thank you for taking time out today. It's actually a very timely topic because we're talking about time management. And, we're in a time right now when there's just not enough time to get everything done that we want to do. Distraction is on the rise, and there's always new things to follow up on, new things to read. We've never had this much information to absorb. And how do we possibly do it all? How do we have that work-life balance where we are spending time on the things that matter to us most, our relationships, giving back to our community, even walking our pets, our dogs, or spending time with our cats or our children? These things are all really important, and at the end of the day, sometimes it can just feel like all too much. And we get really stressed, really overwhelmed. We constantly feel behind, that we're not making enough progress. We're seeing other people publishing new products, having new ideas all the time. And like I said, it can just become all too much. So today on this episode of Authentic Leader TV, I am going to share with you 7 of my favorite time management tips, because people are always asking me, how do I get so much done? And, I have always adopted the belief of working smarter, not harder. So I'm always on the lookout for ways to improve my productivity, and so that I can take on more without achieving burnout or being too stressed or overwhelmed. And you know what? I take nights and weekends off almost every single week of the entire year, and I do get to spend time on the things that I love. So there are some really specific strategies that I'm going to share with you today, and I hope that you can adopt these yourself and make them into a habit. So I'm going to run through all 7 of them, and actually my 7th tip is my all-time best tip of all, so I encourage you to stay till the end of this training video. The first one may seem a little obvious, but my first time management tip is to prioritize. Now, this one is really, really important because we have so many different things to do, especially as an authentic leader, and we're trying to get our message out to the world. We're trying to build a sustainable business that we can profit and grow our lives from and achieve that financial freedom and the lifestyle that entrepreneurship offers us. But at the end of the day, come on, we have to do our blog posts, we have to be on social media, and there's all these different social networks to be on. We're constantly told that we need to do more video, we should start a podcast, what about a membership website or an affiliate program? And that's not even counting the day-to-day tasks that we need to do, such as staying organized, admin work, accounting, sales, marketing, email. I know it gets a little out of control, but what I personally do is I prioritize, and I look at what are the things that I absolutely have to get done today. And so in my very first Authentic Leader TV episode, I talked about the ways to reduce overwhelm. So you can go back to my YouTube channel and watch that 30-minute episode. You'll love it, because in there I give you my personal to-do list strategy. I even created on a Word document my very own to-do list that was going to be most effective for the type of work that I do, and I even gave that to you as a free download right there on my website page. So I encourage you to go back and look at that. But when you're sitting down and you have all these different things to do, prioritize what absolutely has to get done today, and then what can you chip away at. So for example, if you say that you want to create an 8-week course, well, it's not like you're going to create the whole 8-week course today. So what do you have to do today to help you get closer to that goal? And, really look at what is the most important task. The most important task is not necessarily marketing at this point, because at this point you just have to lay out the outline for the course. Then you can move on to the next step. So sometimes what I do if I'm really overwhelmed is I will actually open up a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet, and I'll list out everything that I can think of to get that project done. So if I'm developing an 8-week course, I know that I need to create the outline for the course, possibly homework, PDF, documents that I can give out each week. I know I need to create some sort of a members area where people can get access to replays, the schedule, any bonuses or announcements. I know I need to create a sales page, obviously, and then I want to let's say that I want to create a webinar as my platform to sell that 8-week course. So then I'm going to need a landing page for that. And I literally just list out everything that I have to do in order to get that product complete and out and onto the marketplace, and even all the way through finishing the course. And then I have a guide to look back on so that I know I'm not forgetting anything, and I can prioritize the task based on what's going to get me there the fastest. So even looking in your life, what's the priority? Is the priority to do laundry or to walk your dog? Is the priority to go to the mailbox, or is it to go get groceries? And by doing the most important priorities first, what I found is that it builds momentum. It gives me more energy to handle the future tasks. So prioritization is a huge one. The second key to time management is really awareness over the time sucks. That's what I call it. The time sucks. And you've totally experienced this. It's probably when you're watching TV or Facebook or whatever it is, and all of a sudden you just realize that you've wasted the past 30 minutes mindlessly surfing your Facebook page. And what did that possibly do to help you get closer to your goals? Now, you could sit there and argue me and say that, oh, well, I need to be on social media to get my message out there. And that's true, but you can do social media in a 10-minute spurt, maximize your efficiency there, and then move on to other tasks. Because a lot of the times we just all of a sudden we start getting drained by these activities. I have been noticing more and more that when I sit down to watch TV, within 10 or 15 minutes, I instantly get lazy. Super lazy. And then that's what leads me to watch the next episode and the next episode and the next episode. And then I've just burned 2 or 3 hours, let's say on a Saturday, when I could have been doing a variety of other things that I would enjoy more, that would make me feel more fulfilled in my life, give me more energy, have me have more time with my friends and family. So really become aware of when you're wasting your time. And that's my best tip for you. It's going to be different for everybody, but when you're aware of your time sucks, that's really when you can shift gears and sort of snap yourself out of it and say, oh wow, I'm sitting here on the couch watching TV, I feel like crap, I need to get up and do something. And by taking that immediate action, just get off the couch for a second, go get a drink of water, go put in a load of laundry, go outside for just 5 seconds, and all of a sudden it's going to snap you out of that state of mind. And now you're taking advantage of more time in the day instead of wasting hours or minutes doing things that frankly don't matter and just make you feel bad anyway. So you've got to be aware of that for sure. My third tip for time management, I call it a brain dump. And I do this all the time because here's the reality. Our minds are full. I mean, they are maxed out with clutter and noise and information and ideas and things we want to remember. It's chaos up there. So how can you possibly expect to get any real work done? How can you possibly expect to be your most creative self and impact the world in the way that only you are capable of impacting the world if you're full of clutter and things to do? I know you can relate with me on this one. What I have found is that when I have a lot going on in my mind, I can't get anything done well. And that means that it's going to take me 10 minutes to do something that could have taken me only a minute or two if my mind was clear. So what I would encourage you to do is have checkpoints throughout the day. Let's say it's first thing when you get into your office in the morning, maybe midday, right when you leave the office for the day, and maybe even once at night before bed. Brain dump. You can do that on a to-do list where you're just writing out the things that you want to remember. And sometimes they're little things like send this person an email, but other times they're bigger things like, oh, I need to turn that teleseminar into an evergreen process, meaning that people can opt in forever. And it doesn't just say this teleseminar starts on February 14th, and then people are going to realize that my information is outdated. There are things like that aren't necessarily, they don't have to immediately be done, but it's going to take you a little bit more time and you're sort of putting it off or whatever, and you just keep trying to remember to do that. Brain dump. Put it all on a piece of paper. And then you can go back to step one, like I mentioned, and prioritize based on what your current goals are. And so I think this is incredibly important, even in your personal life, because come on, there is so much that we always have to do. I mean, you have to pick up the dry cleaning, you have to go grocery shopping, you have to clean your car, you have to take your dog to the vet, you have to it's renew the tags on your car. It's like this never-ending list of things to do. But instead of sitting there having it clutter your mind and weigh you down, which is going to affect your productivity, just put it out on a piece of paper. Maybe you have a piece of paper for your business and then one for your personal life. And again, go back to step one and prioritize all of those things. And I swear, this is going to change your life. This is going to change the way that you feel throughout the day. You're going to have more focus, more energy. You're going to be less stressed, less overwhelmed. You're going to be way more creative, which is when we're actually making a difference. When our minds are free and we're creative and our hearts are open, that's when we're making the biggest impact on our prospects and our clients. That's when we're creating products and programs that move the needle. So these tips are really important. Even if you've heard of them before, it's time to look at what you're still not doing and start implementing these things right away so that you feel better. My fourth strategy for you on time management is having an awareness of when you are most productive. And this one really changed things for me because, for me, it's in the morning. For other people, it's late at night or sometime during the day, but you have to look at when you feel the most alive, when you're most excited, when you're most empowered, when you're most creative. And that's the times that I do the more important tasks, because I can send out emails in the afternoon, but maybe I can't sit down and write my book in the afternoon because by then my energy is drained, I'm tired, I've already given so much of my energy away, or maybe I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed at that particular afternoon, so I push it off again. And that's when you start pushing off tasks for later and later and later, and then all of a sudden you have this huge pile of things that you keep putting off. And that doesn't feel very good. You don't have to live your life this way. I don't, and it's truly incredible. So if I know that if I'm writing a book, let's say, and if I know that my most productive, most energized time is in the morning, then what I would do is I would create block time where maybe the first 2 hours of every morning I sit down and I write that book, and I block out everything else and just trust that the emails will still be in my inbox when I'm done with this block time. I can still, work on my client projects later that afternoon. As long as it's done in that same day, then my clients will be happy. So you're going to really have to look at when you're most effective and productive and jam as much into that time as you can, and save some of the easier tasks for the afternoon if you feel like you're going to get more tired then, because then you're still productive, you're still getting things done, but it requires less of your brain power at that time. So that one has been really huge for me. And also being aware of my feelings, my energy levels throughout the day. My personal strategy is I come in first thing in the morning and I just do email for maybe like the first hour or two. And that means that I'm working on client projects here and there. Maybe I'm doing things personally for my own websites at that time, but it's quiet time. I have no client calls during that time because I know that my morning is really important to me, and it sets the stage for the entire day. When I'm on the phone with clients, I'm giving them all of my energy. I give them everything I have every single time because they deserve that, and that's the way I've chosen to run my business. But what happens is once I'm through with my calls for the day, I'm pretty worn out and I'm a little fried in my brain. So if I had to all of a sudden write my book or create some project or program or try to do something creative, I would fail and I would push it off to the next day. So here again, just really being aware of your energy levels is huge. And also, if you're really aware of your energy levels, then what you could do is, for example, if you know that you're going to be exhausted around 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you hit this lull after lunch, then what I would recommend doing is go on a walk. And that's my next tip for you. My point number 5 for time management is to exercise. And this I can't even express the importance of exercise. If you're one of those people that already integrates exercise routines into your week, then cool, you get it. You know the importance of this one. But surprisingly, what I have found is most of the people in my network do not have a regular exercise routine. And they wonder why they're not making enough progress, why they're so stressed or tired, or why they procrastinate. When you move your body, and I'm noticing here my hand movements, I do it all the time. It's how I express myself when I talk. But when you move, blood flow happens in your body. You get more blood rushing to the brain. Your energy levels rise. Your stress reduces. And you can quickly engage in your most creative self right after or during exercise. So like I mentioned earlier, if you know that at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right after you've had lunch, you get really tired and it's hard to get motivated, I would take a walk around the block or do a light jog around the block, or go to the gym for a half an hour if that's the way you want to structure your day. But exercise is really going to pump you up and get you going for the second half of your day. So why a lot of people will exercise first thing in the morning. I did that this morning. It feels incredible. I woke up this morning and I'm not going to lie, I hit the snooze button twice, and I never do that. But this morning, I don't know, I was just really comfortable. It was kind of dark out, and so I totally like hit that snooze button twice. And then I thought, oh my gosh, this is a time suck. So now we're going back to point number 2 in my time management strategies. And I thought, what in the world am I doing? I've just wasted 30 minutes in bed when I got plenty of sleep last night. Get out of bed. So what did I do? I immediately took action without even thinking about it. I ripped the covers off and I stood up. Taking immediate action is so important. Don't sit there and think about it for too long and think, oh, but I'm tired, or I'm lazy, or this feels good, or I deserve a break, or whatever it is. Just take immediate action, jump out of bed. And then I thought, because I just wasted 30 minutes and I'm feeling a little sluggish, I gotta work out. I've got to do something to get that blood pumping, to get me engaged for the day, to get my energy flowing, to get more focused, to get fired up, because I'm going to be recording a lot of video today and I want to be on. I really want to engage my audience today. So what did I do? I worked out, and I didn't work out for an hour. I worked out for a short period of time. I actually downloaded the app, the 7-minute workout, I believe it is, by Johnson & Johnson. I love that app because it creates customized workouts depending on how hard or soft you want to work out. I usually choose to go pretty hard. And they do 7-minute workouts. They do add on a cool, like a warm up and a cool down to make it like 10 minutes. But then you can do that middle exercise twice to push it out even longer. So that's how you can get like a good 20-minute workout, which is awesome. You could do that first thing in the morning and then maybe midday, and that would be huge. Another reason I want to emphasize exercise is because us online entrepreneurs find ourselves sitting a lot during the day. This is so bad for your health. It's really horrible to be sitting all day. If you don't believe me, Google effects of sitting all day and you'll be terrified looking at the articles and the data and the research that has come up from it. And that is actually the reason that I bought a standing desk. I went to versatables.com. I spent about $1,000 and I got this big desk, and with the push of a button, it will move my desk up so that I can stand. But then if I get tired or fatigued, I can move it back down and sit like I'm doing right now. And I would say 80% of the time I'm standing and I'm trying to engage my body. I'm trying to get that blood flowing. And now you're thinking, is this about exercise or about time management? But again, this absolutely helps you manage your time better, because if you're engaged, if your blood is flowing, you will maximize your productivity. You're going to get way more done in a half an hour than you would otherwise if you were just fatigued and not moving and, just kind of letting your body practically decompose here while you're trying to be creative and get some work done. So exercise is huge. Please, I would encourage you to get into a regular routine with it. It will absolutely change the way that you work and your happiness levels and your stress levels. My next tip for you, tip number 6 on time management: This might seem like an obvious one here again, but it's to make a schedule. I remember back in high school when it was like Spanish class was at this time, math was at this time, theater, photography, or whatever it was. It was a schedule. It was routine, and that helped us to really manage our time. We knew when we had study breaks, when we had regular recess breaks where we could just relax and recharge for the next session ahead. But do we do this as entrepreneurs? Most people don't. They kind of get up at different times, or they'll engage at different times. They'll have calls at different times. They'll interrupt their workday to go to lunch with a friend or run errands, which I never do because I think that's a time suck. I run my personal errands on nights and weekends so that I'm most engaged during my working hours so I can get the most done. And that's going to relieve a lot of stress and overwhelm later on. But I encourage you to make a schedule. So one of the reasons that I chose to do this webcast every single week is to keep on a schedule. So I know on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, I'm right here live with you. And then from there, I immediately go and I tweak the video to create the replay, and then I do the blog post. And on Thursdays, every morning at 4 a.m. Mountain Time, I send out my e-zine. I know exactly when I'm going to be on social media, when I'm going to have creative focus time to create products and programs. So what I would encourage you to do is Google weekly calendar and then there are printable weekly calendars that you can get from Google, and you can literally take a highlighter or a pen and say, for this 2-hour block, I'm going to be working on my podcast. For this 1-hour block, I'm going to reserve that for client calls or whatever it is. By creating a schedule, you're going to maximize your efficiency, and also going back to what I said earlier of really noticing when your peaks and valleys are throughout the day energy-wise, you're going to get so much more done with these tips. I can't even believe it. So I hope you're getting a lot out of this so far. My last tip, like I mentioned earlier, is my personal favorite, okay? And this tip has actually changed people's lives. I'm not even kidding you. It's incredible. And that tip is to get it done immediately. And you might be thinking, what? But seriously, my best strategy is to get it done immediately. And here's what I mean by that. If I get a client who sends me an email saying, hey, Amber, what's the name of the plugin that you use to add video tutorials on your WordPress dashboard for your clients? Well, I have a couple of options, right? I could say, yeah, sure, I'll get back to you later this week. And then I could have that email sitting in my inbox, or I could write it down on my to-do list, and then I'm thinking about it. Oh yeah, I've got to do that. I've got to look up that plugin, and I've got to email that person. And now it's just more clutter up here, or it's more clutter on my to-do list. But what I do is as soon as I read that email, I get the name of the plugin, and I hit reply, and I'm done with it. I don't have to think about it anymore. Another example, a client emails me, and let's say I'm building a website for them and they've just sent me their design questionnaire to really kick off the design stage. So what do? I reply immediately to that person and I say, thanks so much, got it, and I file that design questionnaire in my client file on my computer and I upload it maybe to our project management system. Done. I don't have to think about it anymore, or I'll print it off. I always do that with design questionnaires and I put it in a client folder. So you have to have these procedures, these systems for when things happen. When an email comes in and it's a really quick thing, get it done right then and there. Now, there are other people out there that will say only check email for 2 hours during this period. I don't do that. This is why you have to really study what other people say and decide what's right for you. It would drive me freaking nuts to wait until 2 o'clock in the afternoon to do my emailing, and then I would open up my inbox and I'd have 75 emails in there, and it would increase my heart rate. I would get completely overwhelmed, and then it would just feel like I'm chained to a desk responding to emails. Versus if I check email throughout the day and when somebody sends me an email asking me a quick little question, I'll reply right then and there so I don't have to think about it anymore. It's off of my mind. And what's also awesome about this is that my clients are thrilled with our response time. There are other agencies out there that will take a week to get back to you if you have a question. I sometimes will reply back within 30 seconds or less of getting that email. Not all the time. If you're asking me to do something bigger, it's going to take me more time. So then I'll just maybe chip away at that throughout the day, or I'll wait until I have a good opening and then I'll knock that one out. But if it's quick stuff, knock it out right away. And because you can't rely on yourself to do that later. And then you start, that's when it really builds up in your mind and you feel like you're not making enough progress, you're not getting enough done, you don't have much momentum. But if you're getting things done all the time throughout the day like this, you're going to feel like Superman. That's literally how I feel throughout the day. It actually gives me energy knowing that I'm getting things done this quickly. And I'm maximizing my time this way, and it truly is incredible. So just a quick review. My first tip was to prioritize the different things that you have going on in your schedule. My second tip was to have awareness over the time sucks. So the times when you know you're not maximizing your efficiency and you want to switch gears and immediately take action to move forward. The third one is to brain dump on a to-do list. And I suggested you go back and watch my keys to reduce overwhelm on my YouTube channel. And then you can get free access to my personal to-do list design template, but then also having a list for your personal and for your business, and just brain dump to clear that space in your mind. My fourth tip was awareness over when you are most productive. I love that one. My fifth one was to exercise. Please start getting into a habit of that. I care about you and your health. That's a really important one. The sixth tip was to make a schedule and stick to it. And the seventh one was to get the little things done immediately right away. Those are my 7 strategies for time management. I hope that that was a little bit of an eye-opener. I hope that you feel a lot less stressed day to day because of these tips. And I want to tell you a little something new that I've got going on, and I hope you'll participate with me. If you are watching this on YouTube, I want you to head over to amberludwig.com, and on the top navigation bar, you're going to see a new button called Ask Amber. And I have decided to start doing a daily Q&A podcast, and I'm really excited about it, and I hope you'll engage with me. It's very easy. All you have to do is go to that page, hit the record button, and record a question that you have, anything related to building your business online. It can be, how do I build my following? How do I get more engagement out of social media? How would you suggest I structure my webinar? Or how do I hire a virtual assistant? How do I get more organized? Whatever your questions are, just go to Ask Amber on my amberludwig.com website, record your question, and I will answer it and turn it into a daily podcast. So I'd love for you to get involved with that. As usual, I would love for you to make a comment below and let me know your top takeaway. What was your best strategy out of today? And if I forgot something that has been really valuable to you that helps you with your time management, please help share that below so that we can really get everybody in a better place managing their time. I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you're going to get automatically notified when I upload new valuable videos just like this one. And last, help me share this video with others on social media so that they can get impacted too. Everybody needs to hear this message of how to reduce stress and overwhelm through time management, and you're going to be the best way for me to help get this message out. I want to thank you so much for your time here today on Authentic Leader TV, and I can't wait to see you next week. Thanks a lot.